And the parents begged and pleaded, please do something, have some kind of weapons detection. Because if his book bag hadn't come unzipped on the bus, they wouldn't have caught him either, and they would have had more dead kids.
The Flagler County School Board is weighing whether to add metal detectors or other weapons detection systems to campuses. School Board Chair Will Furry says the community's concerns are being taken seriously. In an interview with WNZF, he responded to emotional testimony from parents who want immediate action.
Very, very powerful testimony, and I feel for her emotions. As you may remember, I actually toured the Parkland building before they tore it down to learn from some of the mistakes that were made there on that campus. So safety and security has always been a high priority for me and really for everybody in our organization and the board. And we are actively in discussion about this item right now. And it's not, metal detectors are just one technology. We're really looking for weapon detection systems. And there are many different possibilities.
When asked where he stands, Furry said he won't make a commitment before the board votes, but pointed to other school districts already moving forward.
I can't really say specifically because this is going to be coming before the board to vote on in the future, right? So, but Volusia County has been implementing them. Other districts have been implementing these type of technologies. So that's great because we can actually learn from what's working down there and perfect on it. But one thing that we are also doing at Flagler Schools, we're working on prevention. We are looking at students that may not be behaving in a way that aligns with our student code of conduct and that are habitual or may pose a danger to the general student population. And those students are still being educated, but they're being offered it in an alternative way, whether it be through our Rise Up program or through iFlagler or through homeschooling assist.
He added that weapons detection isn't the only option on the table.
The metal detectors is a deterrent because it's the element of potentially being caught with your weapon. But, there's also, as I learned in Parkland, mitigation. And, there's another option out there too, which is the Guardian program, which we have previously discussed as a board, and that there is a board member that wants to bring that conversation back and will likely come up in another workshop. But that involves potentially arming our faculty and staff. There are other models of it too where we don't do that, but that's in collaboration with the sheriff, and there's a lot more conversation to be had about that.
And while those debates continue, Furry says students should be able to focus on learning, not safety threats. The Flagler School Board is expected to revisit the issue of weapons detection in upcoming workshops. Good morning, Flagler County. I'm Rich Carroll. You're listening to Flagler's Morning News on Monday, October 6th.
Even the millionaires can't afford to live in Ponte Vedra.
Sandra Schenk talks affordability.
As a member of the Flagler County Affordable Housing Advisory Committee, she knows the numbers. She explains why she's seeing so many families unable to afford to stay where they live.
Because it goes back to the 30% of your gross monthly income, understanding that number, that it doesn't matter how much money you earn. If you're spending more than 30% of your gross monthly income, you are no longer living affordably.
That formula applies to homeowners as well as renters.
And so I tell people the only difference between an eviction and a foreclosure is time.
Lots of folks are getting into financial trouble because they have an even higher debt-to-income ratio. But when a family is matched with a Habitat for Humanity home, they make sure the family won't need to use more than 30% of their income on housing.
That is their screening requirement to ensure that the person does not exceed 30% of their gross monthly income. I guarantee you, your listeners right now, many of them could probably call in and say, I wish that was the case for me. But for most people, that's not the number.
Families do not receive Habitat homes for free. They must put in sweat equity, meaning helping build the house like painting walls and banging nails. And then the home is sold to them at an affordable price. If you think you might qualify for a Habitat home, it's worth looking into. You might be surprised. Flagler Habitat is not currently accepting applications. They are, however, up in St. Johns County. To find out more, go to habitatstjohns.org.
This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine, conveniently located right off I-95 at exit 311.
It was really interesting to think about the student, the photographer, what they were focusing on, right? What was going through their mind.
Jay Shear of the Flagler County Cultural Council describes the Flagler Palm Coast High School Student Photography Contest.
There were over 30 entries on display at the Palm Coast Community Center, and there were cash awards for the best of the best.
In first place is Isabella Cuccinello. So she was awarded $300. Second place was Jordan Carnelli. Jordan will be awarded $200. Third place is Braden Rowe. Braden's going to receive $125. Fourth place is Annabelle Murray. That's $75 for Annabelle. And fifth place is Abigail Minder or Minder. I apologize if I'm not pronouncing that correctly. $50 for Abigail.
He told David Ayers during Free for All Friday, they're going to hold off a bit, though, on the People's Choice Award.
Until the Creekside Festival, the rescheduled date in February, and that is a $250 cash award.
The People's Choice Award will be chosen at the Creekside Festival, which has been rescheduled for February 7th and 8th at the Princess Place Preserve in Palm Coast. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Liz Ryan.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.
And now, Mike Licio with your WNZF local sports update.
Friday's high school game of the week featured a thriller at the Ship between the Matanzas Pirates and the Mount Dora Hurricanes. A 33-yard Alex Prosek field goal on the opening drive gave the Pirates a 3-0 lead. Mount Dora quickly responded with a 28-yard touchdown pass from Nicholas Kerr to Donovan Spears. Down 7-3, QB Cole Walker and running back Wiley Connor went to work. 18 plays later, the Pirates took the lead.
Another handoff to Connor. No, quarterback keeps it himself. Walker into the end zone for a touchdown. Touchdown, Pirates!
That's Rich Carroll. Walker scored from the 1. Connor had 11 carries for 48 yards on the possession as the Pirates employed a ball control offense that allowed them to stay on the field for 20 minutes in the first half. The defenses took over from there. A pair of long field goals by the Hurricanes gave them a 13-10 lead. Trailing with 3 minutes left, it was up to Walker to lead his team to victory. His answer? Throw LaDarian Baker the ball.
3 wide receivers to the right, Baker all alone to the left. Watch that matchup. Fake handoff, looking to Baker, to the end zone, the 5, touchdown! Touchdown, Pirates! And they take a 16-13 lead with 1:44 to go.
Baker had 3 grabs on the drive and 8 for the game, moving to 4th place in school history in catches, tied with Jordan Schendorf. Walker threw for 226, Connor rushed for 99. Jack Ferguson had 2 sacks, and the Pirates win 17-13. They host Bellevue in their district finale Friday night, right here on WNZF. Across town, Ladarius Simmons ran for 110, and Zayden Green had 13 tackles as the FPC Bulldogs outgained their opponent, the Fletcher Senators. Turnovers on a wet field would ultimately be the difference in the 28-12 Senators win. The Bulldogs will try and keep first place in the district at DeLand Friday. This is your home for local sports, with updates Mondays and Fridays. From the WNZF Sports Desk, I'm Mike Licio.